All right, let's dive right in. Have you ever really stopped to think about what makes a great teacher? Truly great. It's not some kind of magic, you know? There's actually a blueprint. And today, we're going to deconstruct that very blueprint, using a pretty fascinating source to guide us. So let's get into it.
I mean, it's a question we've all wondered about, right? As students, as parents, maybe just as curious people. Is it passion? Is it patience? Just being super smart? Well, yeah, it's all of those things, but the real secret, the core of it, it's kind of hidden in a place you would probably never expect.
That's right. Believe it or not, we're looking at questions from a teacher eligibility test. But hang on, this isn't just some pop quiz. If you really look closely, these questions, they reveal this deep philosophy about what it actually means to educate a child in the 21st century. It's a guide to both the art and the science of teaching.
So, where does this blueprint even begin? Well, it starts with Pillar 1, getting inside the learner's mind. Because you see, great teaching doesn't start with the subject. It starts with the student, always.
And this is just so important. A classroom is not a factory assembly line where every piece is the same. It's more like a garden full of all kinds of different plants, and each one needs slightly different care to really thrive. And that means a teacher has to recognize and understand learning challenges.
So take a look at this. This comes straight from a question on the test. A teacher has to know that dyslexia is a difficulty with reading. And why is that so critical? Well, because you can't help a student get over a hurdle if you don't even know what the hurdle is. This isn't about slapping on a label, it's about providing the right kind of support. Okay, here's another piece of the puzzle from our blueprint. It's not just about learning differences, but also about the different stages of development. You know, when does that little switch flip in a kid's brain that lets them start thinking logically? To answer that, we have to look to the legendary psychologist Jean Piaget. And there it is, the concrete operational stage. It usually kicks in around age 7 to 11. Now, knowing this timeline is absolutely crucial for a teacher because it tells you how to teach. You wouldn't ask a 6-year-old to solve some abstract hypothetical problem, right? But you can give an 8-year-old a hands-on logical activity. It's all about tailoring the lesson to where their mind is at.
So this brings us right to our second pillar, crafting the learning experience. Once you understand the learner, how do you actually build an environment and a method that, well, that works?
Okay, this is a huge one. This slide gets to the heart of a massive shift in education, and it's highlighted directly by a question in the test. The old way, rote learning. Just memorize, repeat, and probably forget. The blueprint today demands activity-based learning. It's the difference between just reading about a plant versus actually planting a seed and watching it grow. One is just information. The other, that's real understanding.
And get this isn't some brand new idea. The test itself actually points back to the philosopher John Dewey. He was talking about this powerful idea over a century ago. True learning is active, not passive. It's all about experience, about getting your hands dirty, about really engaging with the world.
Now, crafting that experience also means managing the classroom. The test asks about the best method for an inclusive classroom, and the answer is so telling. It throws out outdated, harmful practices, and instead it champions things like peer tutoring. Why? Because a great teacher knows that sometimes the best learning happens student to student. It builds empathy, it reinforces the knowledge for the kid who's teaching, and it creates a classroom that's collaborative, not combative.
And all of this, it points to this really fundamental shift in what the goal of a modern classroom even is. It's not just about cramming for a final exam anymore. It's about developing the whole person, their creativity, their critical thinking, their emotional intelligence. The focus has to be on the child's entire journey of growth.
So we understand the learner and we know how to craft the experience. That brings us to our final pillar, the essential knowledge toolkit. What does a great teacher actually need to have in their head?
Look, empathy and strategy are absolutely vital, but at the end of the day, a teacher also has to know their stuff. You can't guide a student through the woods if you're lost yourself. So the test includes a rapid-fire check of this foundational knowledge. Let's do a quick lightning round, shall we?
First up, math. A simple question, but it's a core concept for everything that comes after it in number theory. Do you know it? The answer is 2, the only even prime number. It's a simple fact, but it's an essential piece of the toolkit.
All right, let's switch gears to environmental science. A question about the very foundation of life on our planet. Of course, it's photosynthesis. But see, knowing the word is one thing. Being able to really explain the process, that's the real job of the teacher.
And finally, language. A basic vocabulary question.
Joyful.
a teacher needs a rich vocabulary to help build one in their students. You see, this toolkit isn't about being a genius. It's about having a solid, reliable foundation you can build on.
Okay, so we've explored the 3 core pillars. Now let's bring it all together and see the true art of teaching, the big picture.
And there it is, the complete blueprint. It starts with empathy, really understanding the student's mind. Then it moves to strategy, crafting an active, collaborative, and holistic learning experience. And all of that is built on a solid foundation of knowledge. The thing is, none of these pillars can stand alone. They all need each other.
And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway. Great teaching isn't just one thing. It's not just about being nice or being smart or being creative. It's the dynamic, challenging, and honestly, beautiful fusion of all 3. That's where real, lasting learning happens.
Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This blueprint, it's for today. It's for our world as it is right now. But as technology and society keep evolving at this incredible pace, what new skills, what new understanding will the great teacher of tomorrow need to add to their toolkit? Something to think about.